What's up, dudes, and welcome to another episode of Dynamite Rocketship. I'm your host, Toby McMullen. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe on the YouTube channel you may be watching this on or on any of the audio platforms. We're on all of them, and we appreciate you checking the show out. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, partner in crime, and one of my best friends in the whole damn planet. Please give it up for Tucker Brookshire.
Bow, 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 bow. That's right, folks, the one and only. Thanks so much for tuning in. I feel absolutely alive today, Toby. I am so fucking dialed in, you just couldn't imagine. Who do we have on the show this evening?
Today, we have a guy fresh off the boat from the Great White North. He was featured in the Just for Laughs Festival. He's got a great podcast called Dude Buddy, and is someone who, like, it's very rare, especially as you get into your 30s, to meet somebody that you're instantly like, oh, that's the bro. And that's this guy. I met him, and I was like, this is the new homie. I love him to death. He's killing it all over New York. He's ripping it up, and we're so stoked to have him in the stew. Please give it up for Jarrett Campbell.
Hell yeah.
Yay.
Thank you, boys.
Welcome to the stew, brother.
What a pleasure.
Absolutely, man. One of the good Canadians.
Ah,
there.
thanks. There are, we got more coming. That's going to get watered down soon.
Yeah, you guys are popping up like bed bugs.
Oh, they're just giving these things away, buddy. Trump will take care of it. This is probably the last podcast I'm going to be allowed to do.
It's so funny because I'm trying to get into Canada now.
Oh,
You guys have done it the opposite way.
Well, we're starting to crack down right now too.
Yeah.
On the on all the students that have been coming. Yeah. Big uptick in students. But anyways, it's nice to be here. I like that you came out saying you feel alive. I've probably never sat in a room that was heavier with fucking sadness for the last 30 minutes before we fired this pod up.
Yeah, that's what we call a bold-faced lie.
Yeah, we both
everybody.
agreed we would turn it on for the pod, but you really fucking turned to 180 there.
I like to bring it in the intros and then slowly over the course of the episode remind everyone that my life is in shambles and I don't feel so good.
Well, it's hard to be like the sad guy when you're kicking your feet up in a bunk bed too, right? Like, how are you gonna do that? It's like we need the fucking fire department to get you down.
It's like a cat in a tree. Yeah.
Whatever. Meow, meow, motherfuckers.
I like it. I like your studio, boys. Very nice. You showed this to me when you guys were first putting it together, and I think you really got something here.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, when you came by before it was done, your initial reaction was, huh, okay.
All right. Well, I'm not good at these things. But,
Yeah, a little coat of paint, a little elbow grease. It came together nice.
No, it is. I really like it. I like the product. And I'm happy to be here.
Hell yeah, man.
Fucking gum.
How are you enjoying the transition to American life, bro?
Oh, it's hell, brother. Yeah. This is a fucking dude. This is what I say. You know, sometimes you take a bite out of the Big Apple, and sometimes the Big Apple takes a bite out of you. And I got to tell you, it's been tough. But no, I really like it here. I know some people who have had some difficulty. I mean, it's a tough town.
Sure.
Right? New York is a tough town. Nobody gives a fuck about you. You really gotta have your own back here.
And certainly no one says sorry.
Nobody says sorry. I've stopped saying sorry, dude. So it's I get the edge now that comes with being a New Yorker. You know what I mean? Like I understand the pace and the fucking everybody's a little upset.
Is it really even that much different?
It's not as different as people want to believe it is. Like I'm from Toronto in Canada. That's our biggest city. I find that whether it's genuine or not, I think people here in New York are as kind as they are there. A lot of people in Canada mistake, or people that aren't from Canada mistake being polite for being kind.
Right.
Right? They say the right things. Doesn't mean it's a good fucking person.
Did you grow up in Toronto?
I grew up like 2 hours northwest of Toronto in the country. But I lived in Toronto for like the last 15 years before I came here.
Like country, proper country?
Country, Mennonite neighbors.
Oh, the Mennonites.
Do you know what a Mennonite is?
No.
Like Amish.
Okay, they sound like...
The real Amish.
They sound like they ride magical horses and have swords that have fire coming out of them.
No, it's more like they're actually more like they tend to be born with hearing aids and speak a broken Dutch. And
honestly, they've got it right.
They're doing something right. They don't call the cops. I can tell you that. Everything's dealt with internally.
Yeah, they're not posting IG reels all day.
They used to be able to get paid like $10,000 to knock up a Mennonite because their bloodlines are all too close, and that's why they have so many fucking. I'm not kidding you, dude. As the story goes, you'd basically be fucking a blanket with a hole in it because you're not allowed to look at them, right? And let me tell you something. You don't want to look at them.
I'm just imagining the twins from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, dude, not far off. Because they're mixing. They're all, whether it be fucking brother, sister, cousin, whatever, and so the gene pool is a little sour.
No shit. Wait, so 10 racks. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
To fuck or to inseminate? Respectfully. Ooh, boy.
That gets cut in half if nothing happened.
Yeah. You know what about just a night on the town?
Yeah, exactly. They take your firstborn. That's what you owe them a baby.
Well, listeners of the pod know I'm out on that one then, folks.
Buddy, these motherfuckers people go watch barn raisings, or it was where you go watch them build a barn in like an afternoon.
Oh, I've seen that on YouTube.
Yeah,
the
whole
smack
community.
Watch them do that. Yeah, and then they all get together and pick it up and move it.
They do.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And these guys are just corn-fed motherfuckers too, right? Like they're strong.
Are they on to something? I think they're on to something.
I think that they're stuck in 200 years in the past. I mean, you might think they're on to something, right? They take the women out of school at grade 8, put them in the kitchen. Hey, now we're talking.
Are these guys geniuses?
Holy fuck.
The women can't speak. I'm like, are these guys brilliant?
I love that angle that we're getting it wrong and they're doing it right. That's fucking awesome.
So was like suburban or just? Or,
how do you mean? Like where I was?
Yeah, or proper rural.
It's proper rural where I was. So my high school was pretty big actually. It was like a 1,200 kids school or something for the company because kids would come from an hour in every direction to go there. But it was in a town that was like 15 minutes from where
they're all taking dog sleds and such to get there, right?
Of course, dog sleds. I was gonna go back to the Mennonites, but they don't get to go to high school. So we would all get on a bus. I was the last person on my bus, and it was still like a 15-minute ride to get there. But it's very, very, very. I didn't even live in a town. I lived in a county. Like I lived outside of a town. I just lived in a place called Grey County.
Oh, dude.
Grey County.
Grey County. I mean, everything in Canada is pretty gray.
Sure. But it's like you think of Orange County, like, oh, that's warm, vibrant, that's nice. Grey County is also exactly what it sounds like.
Oh, dude, pond hockey on a pond full of rocks.
Pond hockey, yeah, with frozen cow shit. You just had to make your own fun out there. I had a good time growing up out there. Dude, I was skateboarding on you'd go into a dirt road and find a place that was nice and padded down, skateboard on it.
Yeah, that's what's sick about you is that you look like a full-blown jock, but you're a little punk rock fucking
Oh yeah,
fun guy.
dude. I'm not like I grew up playing sports. I grew up playing a lot of hockey. I played every sport when I was young, but hockey kind of like stuck around for me. But then once I got into high school, that's when I really got into smoking weed and playing drums and skateboarding and snowboarding and everything. So I think I went more that direction. And to this day, I listen to almost exclusively punk. Do you know, my Spotify Wrapped was kind of bleak. It told me that I listened to 736 songs this year.
It's like 2 a day.
Like, is this how I find out I don't have a fucking personality? Who wants to hang out with a guy that listens to 8 albums on repeat?
Dude, my Spotify Wrapped just confirmed that I'm bipolar. It was just Big X the Plug and then like Hot Mulligan, just emo bands.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
yeah, you're into that like Midwestern sort, but you like that kind of dirty garage fucking sound too, right?
Yeah. That one bit.
Pup, that's your favorite?
Yeah, I love Pup.
Those are hometown boys for me.
Yeah, they're
Toronto boys.
They're the greatest. Shout out to them.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's like but it's what's fucked up about me is that it's like the inverse, right? So if it's like if I'm listening to Big X the Plug, that's when I'm down. That's when I need to like bring myself up. I'm in the shower. I need to get motivated, And then if I'm listening to some real sad music, that's when I'm feeling pretty good.
Right, like. Dude. Sometimes the shit that I have in my ear when I'm at the gym sometimes is fucking hilarious. Just a song called Broken Hearted Loser. It's an acoustic track. I'm there trying to put up a PR.
I just listen to nothing but like home invasion music, just like rappers being like, I killed this man and then stole his crack money. And I'm like, why am I so mad all the time? It's like,
that's so funny because like, okay, I'm a big like true crime guy. I love watching true crime. Like I watch it every night.
Very ladylike of you.
A very white woman like of me. Except for I'm rooting for the killer.
A real man.
Bro, I watch true crime the same way I watch sports, man. I'm yelling shit like, take your shoes off before you walk through the garden.
You got
a parlay.
You got a parlay on the fucking serial killer.
It. Yeah. I got bets.
Anytime stab on the.
Yeah. I bet you should have stayed with your friends. But no, I love it. And then of course there was a study that came out recently that suggested that falling asleep to it, that when you're relaxed by it is a big red flag. So
Is it a big? I mean, yeah.
they say if you're relaxed by it, and I find it to be very relaxing.
I'm the exact opposite. I can't stand it. It makes
Really?
my skin crawl. It's like the last thing I want to consume.
Toby does not want to think about death.
Really? Sometimes you gotta look death in the fucking eye,
Yeah,
Toby.
I'm daydreaming about it.
Who's your favorite? Who's your goat?
Bundy, baby.
Yeah, you a Bundy guy?
Nah, I like all the big five. No, I don't have like.
It's like a hockey. I like the original six. It's like a hockey
Yeah, exactly. Gacy, Bundy. No, dude, it's more like, I don't know. I think I find it just intriguing, and I find it kind of fascinating, and I guess it is a little spooky, but.
You think you could kill somebody?
Hell yeah.
I think about it all the time.
Okay, seriously, no, I have thought about it. It's not in there. It's not in there. I couldn't do it.
You think if like someone like hit your sister with their car, you couldn't like hunt them down and kill them or something?
Buddy, I tell him, put it in reverse.
I think about that all the time.
I don't have a sister, so I can't. I can't speak to that.
I think I could like certainly like hunt down like a CEO of a major corporation and shoot him in the back.
Is there any chance you did that this week?
I think I'm just brainstorming, but if that was an option,
Well, because I heard guys talking about. I had actually missed that in the news when it very first happened. Then I was out in the comedy show and everyone was talking about because he was a health insurance executive, right? The guy that got shot here.
Yeah.
And you guys do not like those motherfuckers.
Dude,
I forget
it's crazy. Zero remorse.
Dude,
no one
celebrated.
It's
Like,
wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I mean, truly, he must be. Imagine your legacy as being such a piece of shit that everybody's just dancing on your grave. And we're talking like liberal people who have probably watched that video more than anything.
It's I've just for the past week, it's all I've seen. It's just breakdown after breakdown. And then I saw one that was like that was really wild, where it was like, guys, this guy wasn't the CEO of United Healthcare. He was the CEO of a subsidiary, and this is the actual CEO. Wink, wink. I was like, Jesus,
that's fucking
I
good.
know, and people are like scrubbing.
Put it in reverse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, dude, here's the funny thing. So like I said, I love true crime, but I hate like violence, and I don't. So on the opposite, and I don't watch those types of videos. I don't watch videos of violent shit happening. I like the post of it, and I like the investigation and all that, but I don't watch. Like I haven't watched this guy get murdered. And do you guys want to watch it together?
I've seen it many a times in
I
slow
haven't.
motion and in person.
Yeah, see, I
folks.
haven't, and I don't even like watching fight videos anymore. Like I used to fucking own like ghetto fights on DVD. All right, and I thought that was pretty.
When they make the
thrilling.
homeless people brawl and shit, I used
They
to
just
watch that.
kick a homeless guy in the head, and I even then I knew I'm like I don't feel good watching this at all. I mean, bum fights was when you go back to what bum fights was
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely fucking crazy, and not far off of what the internet became though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, the things I've seen online, I've seen people get their heads cut off. I've seen like cartel members like gun people down.
I don't touch that stuff, man.
Oh man, well that's why I'm not a mentally healthy individual.
That's why you're up there.
That's why I'm on the second floor.
We gotta keep a safe distance.
I've seen too much.
Bro, he could pounce though from there.
You don't know what I got behind this curtain. I got a machete and an AK-47.
Yeah, I was never a fights guy. I remember the one friend who was super into like bum fight stuff. He was also the guy who introduced me to UFC. Mm-hmm. But it was like back when it was just DVDs, and it was a lot of like you had the DVDs for like Pride.
Is that when those guys would fight like 3 times in a night? Like when Royce Gracie broke 2 arms in one night?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
That shit was wild.
and they were just like no fish hooking or yelling about your wife or whatever. Everything else goes. And I remember being like, "This is insane." And now at this point, I'm just like, "Oh no, it's the best form of combat sports." It's like it's it's elevated. It's good now.
No, UFC's great. I enjoy. I mean, I'm only these. I used to watch it a lot more. I only watch like the big fights now. Like I watched that John Jones fight a couple weeks ago. Loved it. But like I don't mind that. I don't mind watching fight. But again, if I'm watching it and like a guy gets like fucking locked up, and I think like a broken arm might be coming, I'll look away. I don't like that.
I can't stand broken bones.
I don't like that. But you fucking skateboard, bro.
That's why I don't like it, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen it too.
You've seen it. You've heard it.
Oh,
You've heard it.
Dude, when I was like 11, there was one kid in the neighborhood. Nobody liked him, but he had a bunch of sick ramps and some rails and stuff. So we were always at his place skating his stuff. And our one friend, who was the best skater in the whole crew, there was a pair of rollerblades, and he was like goofing around on the rollerblades, and we had 2 ramps set up, so it was like you jump from one to the other, classic. Mm-hmm. And he overshot the landing ramp and just hit his back wheels, which like kicked his feet up, and then he went up and went to catch himself, and it was just pop, clean break.
Yeah.
Just when he lifted his arm up, it was like his wrist was 6 inches where it should have been. Just jelly, dude. And he had a quarter pipe in his driveway, and I went and I puked behind the quarter pipe. Ruined me, dude.
Gotcha.
11
years old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just learned how to ollie. Oh man.
I got right around that age. I got a bad scar right here. I was playing hockey, but I got called up to play with the older kids. Right. And so I was playing with guys like 2-3 years older than me, and I got hit from behind.
Hey there, Campbell, you got broad shoulders. Get in there.
Yeah, Campbell, you're going. Let's go. So like I got the tap. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. And then I got hit from behind, and I was like, 3 feet out from the boards, and I put my arm out straight like that.
Oh no.
And it went like so. It just like triangled, but it didn't break. It dislocated, but yeah, they had to go and like cut the shit off at the hospital, and because my body went into shock, so I knew something was weird. Now I tried to move my arm, and I felt like my bones touched. Right. And then so when they took it all off, what happened was all the muscle and nerves had gotten tangled between the bones. So I remember being sedated at the hospital, and they were trying to put my arm back in, and I was like half awake, and I was like kind of feeling them do that. And then I came out of that like, we can't. And then I had to get a big fucking surgery done on it. And it was, dude, it was
just your nerves are like just a ball of Christmas lights, dude.
So I have parts of this elbow that are overly sensitive, and then parts that are completely fucking numb.
Oh, dude, I have my left kneecap. I have no feeling in it from just bashing it repeatedly skating. It's just toast. Nothing.
Well, if you're truly skating, snowboarding, anything like that, you're not walking away with nothing.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I like no broken bones, thank God. But
You've never broken a bone?
No, but I've sprained my wrist probably 60 times. Yeah, my left wrist is just. I try to do push-ups, and it's like, what are you doing?
I got that too. I actually broke my right wrist in first year college. Yeah,
dude, I was seeing this chick in college, and we broke up, and I was like in love with her, and I went out to this bar, and she was it was like the day after, and she was with this dude that I fucking hated. And I like started crying.
No, sick, dude. That is not where I thought you were going to go with that.
Just wait.
Talk about breaking bones.
And so I started like weeping because I'm still in love with her, and she's out with this guy I hate. And so I like storm home, and on the way home there was this sign for like, such and such apartment complex or whatever. And I punched it as like hard as I could, and I broke every single knuckle in my hand, and I dislocated both fingers so they were sideways, and I started like crying even more. And I turned around while I was like weeping, and her and the dude were like 45 feet behind.
Oh no. Did they see it?
She saw the whole thing.
Dude.
And I like started crying even harder. She just
you're tripling down at this point.
The dude just walked past me, just clapped my ass.
I would like, Lord, take my wrist, but do not let her new boyfriend see me cry.
I was like, come on, life is so hard.
I lived in this absolute shithole apartment for like 5 years in Chicago, just real dirtbags. But we had a flat bar and a box that we would skate in the alley. And we were out back, me and my buddy Jables, we were drinking 40s, having a real fun time. And he went, and he could skate, but he wasn't consistent. So he was a little shaky.
Okay.
And he went to board slide the rail. He landed it a couple times, and then he went for one and just slipped out and just slapped his wrist on the ground. And me and my neighbor were like, dude, are you okay? He was like, oh, dude, fine, bro. Totally chilling. And then like 20 minutes later, our neighbor goes into the house, and he looks at me, he goes, dude, I didn't want to freak Chris out, but my wrist is broken.
Throw a bag of peas on that.
Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean, dude? And he showed me, and it just full bummed. He goes, you got to set it. You got to set it, dude. And I was like, I can't do that, dude. I cannot, no. And he's like, dude, I did it for my dad when I was a kid. You can do this. And when a guy tells you he did something at 9 years old, you're like, all right, I can, I'm 22. I can do this. He's like, all you got to do is yank hard. And I was like, no, dude. And he goes, all right, practice on my good wrist. And he goes, 1, 2, 3. And I pull it. And he goes, yeah, just like 7 times harder than that. So I grab his wrist, 3, 2, 1, and I yank it, and I felt the bone slide against the other bone and pop into place.
So you did it.
Yeah, and he was a guitarist though, so I was like, if I do this wrong, he's never gonna play again. He was he was like a virtuoso. And I was so freaked out that I went inside and I was like, I just gotta smoke some weed, man. No weed left. Just sat down and just started ripping resin out of the bowl. Just so sad.
Nothing wrong with smoking resin.
The amount of fucking I would like to see the amount of time invested in scraping resin, just harvesting it.
Brother, I blasted resin 2 nights ago.
That's fucking
in my 30s.
dark,
No.
dude.
Sorry,
That's
guys.
dark. I don't know if I've touched resin.
Sorry. I'm telling you, things aren't going.
I can't associate with you, I don't think.
You know what I did? You turn the bowl upside down, you blast
Yeah,
it.
that's crack now, dude.
It was like
no
hitting a
good.
crack pipe. But it was so I could go to sleep. I can't sleep without it. I'm addicted.
Dude, just blasting resin in your 30s is
Rock bottom is what it is.
it's not. You should move home for a couple weeks. I think that's like go see your parents. Figure it out.
I've been thinking about it.
No doubt.
Yeah, we're back now, though, baby. We got the real flour straight from an Arab man. No chance
Hey,
it's fake.
You know what new flour brings? More resin, brother.
Yes,
At the end of that bag, you get that fucking pin out. You do a few laps in there.
Dude,
Good
I used
night.
to grow pot. I have a serious pot problem. I used to grow weed, and you could really get a lot of resin when you're growing
How
pot.
many plants did you used to have?
I had 2 of them things going. Had a whole grow room in my basement, and then I went completely insane. I was growing mushrooms at the same time, taking mushrooms, smoking pot all day long.
Yeah,
Pandemic was different for a lot of people.
Oh, that was the pandy.
The pandy, I was losing my fucking mind. Sort of a drug addict.
We all did, dude.
Yeah.
I was just fucking making dirty martinis every day.
Same thing.
I love a dirty
Banging
martini.
back gin though.
No, vodka.
I only got into the vodka ones after the pandy.
Oh, dude, it's the way to go. Gin is no good.
At the time, I liked it, but you're right. Now, I would never order a gin martini, but yeah, it was doing the trick.
No, I
think I wanted it to suck a bit too. Like I wanted to fucking feel it. I'm like, I don't deserve to have good things right now. I wanted every sip to be like,
like the second time I ever got drunk, I was at we were at the beach and we're staying at a family friend's house, and everybody went to sleep. I had gotten drunk like 1 or 2 times before. I was like 15, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get lit up right now, dude. So I grabbed a big old plastic like beach cup, and I went and I looked in the liquor cabinet, and I was like, all right, what has the most booze behind the label? So that's like the least likely to be noticed it's missing.
Yep.
Big old fat bottle of Bombay Sapphire, dude. Fat. Fired that into this cup. Way too much. Like half the cup of Bombay Sapphire, a little bit of ice. Went for a mixer. All they had was diet, vanilla, sugar-free Coke. So diet and sugar-free, the same thing.
Yeah.
Caffeine-free, that's what I was looking for. And I loaded this cup up, slugged it down, and then just spent 2 hours on the floor of the bathroom spinning and puking while my cousin watched Cops in the living room.
fuck, that's awesome, dude.
It's sad how life hasn't gotten much better since then.
That Bombay,
I can't even smell the stuff anymore.
yeah, I love that everybody, we're all acting like all this shit is behind us.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm
Everybody's-
still doing the same thing. I
yeah.
Bombay 4 nights ago.
I couldn't drink gin for years because I got suspended in high school. I was wasted one time and I was drinking gin, and my buddy, we had it in like a plastic water bottle. And I remember at one point I was standing in the cafeteria and I was drinking it. My buddy came up behind me, he squeezed the water bottle, and it just like fucking just blasted like a half a bottle's worth of gin into the back of my throat. And then I ended up smoking a joint. And then after that, I chose the bathroom that was across the hall from the principal's office.
A bad choice.
Yeah. And I passed out in there, and all my buddies were in there stealing my shoes and shit. They're fucking with me. And then eventually the vice principal came in, grabbed me, walked me out of there, set me down in the office. They're like, what did you do? I'm like, I don't know, just fucking nothing, man. and then, yeah, so I got some, and then, but that flavor from that fucking, that shot of gin that I took in there, which was just like, it always had that, I'd always just thought about that pine needle fucking disgusting taste. I didn't touch gin for like fucking probably like 15 years after that, man.
Oh, dude, I had a similar thing in my 20s where it was middle of the summer in Chicago, hot as balls, dude, like 85, 90 degrees out. I was riding my bike home from work. working this restaurant job. Got home, pouring sweat. Go open the fridge to grab some ice, and there's a water bottle in there that I was like, oh, someone was icing down this water. Perfect. Open that up. Just slug the whole thing. Pure vodka.
Oh, yeah.
My buddy was like, did you drink that whole thing? And I was just like, yes, we're going to need a lot of cigarettes.
You graduated that day.
I was like, dude, I'm 5 minutes away from being blacked
That's how
out.
you break your sobriety on accident. You got to do it on accident.
Yeah, when you just can't stop chugging it.
Whoopsie.
You know pretty fucking quick that that's vodka hitting your lips.
Dude, I got the whole thing in me before I realized.
God damn, you did have a problem.
Yeah, well.
I don't know. Sometimes you got to get out of the pan and into the fire. You know what I mean?
Were you ever expelled or just suspended?
Just suspended.
Yeah, I went to like a real goofy high school.
What does that mean?
It was a boarding school in Western Massachusetts for hippies.
A boarding school for. So does that mean you got in trouble? Because boarding schools were not a lot of times
like,
with disciplinary issues, or for rich kids. Were you a rich kid?
Nah.
That's exactly what I said when he told me.
Yeah.
I said you were either a delinquent or a rich kid.
You're either a cool dude or a fucking douchebag, dude. Which one is it?
No, I'm kind of a third thing. My parents weren't rich, but they weren't poor. They did
Middle
well.
class.
They did
Upper middle class.
Yeah, they did well. My mom.
That's so funny. The middle class is so dead. We're like, what is that thing? They
Well,
weren't rich, but they weren't.
Hey, how many vacations a year?
Yeah, it just doesn't exist anymore.
We'd go to Florida for Thanksgiving.
And what was the name of the Latina woman that tucked you in at night?
Consuela. She's a goddamn saint.
There is always that one kid who's got like a fucking stay-at-home nanny. You're like, I'll be robbing your house when the food runs out.
Well, I love rich kids in comedy because they can't talk about being rich kids,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like it's not cool, right? Like when someone's like super fucking wealthy, and we know a few guys that
Certainly.
come from a lot of money, but it's funny that. When you're like in high school, whatever, it's so cool to have it all, and then you join us, the faction of losers doing comedy, and all of a sudden you're like, no, it was still tough.
Yeah, they're doing bits about like taking the train, and then it turns out their dad is Jimmy John.
yeah.
Right, you took an Uber black here, brother.
Exactly. Sorry, I stepped on your thing though. Boarding school.
No, you're good. But that hits home for real because it's my parents. They basically, I got a little bit of scholarship money, and they basically gambled my college fund on high school.
Nice.
They were like, we'll send him to this boarding school. We'll spend all of his college money on this, and then he'll get a full ride because he'll be.
What was the ride
at a school with no grades? By the way,
That's what we call a whoopsie in the biz.
horrible gamblers.
No grades.
Yeah.
What did they score you with? Hugs,
smiley faces, and clouds.
Ooh, you get a long hug for that one.
No, they would just write a paragraph about your performance.
Sick.
Yeah.
So these teachers also went to a similar school.
Yeah. A lot of the faculty did go to this school. It wasn't a great scene.
Yeah.
I think it really fucked me up pretty good. That's how you wind up in a room with their buddy up in a bunk bed talking to your bros.
Yeah.
Hey, I also took a different route, and I'm still here as well.
What? But sorry, what scholarship were you going for? What was your thing?
They just gave me some money. It wasn't like
specifically like you weren't gifted in one certain.
No, I honestly what I think it is the school is so small that I think that they were like we just need money. So like we'll cut you a break.
Sounds like a phantom scholarship anyway. It's just like a pat on the back.
Yeah. But the drink in there, me and my buddy Reed, we would get like on my last year there, my senior year, we would each week we would trade off. One of us would get a handle of Jim Beam and hide it in our closet, and then each afternoon we'd rip shots of Jim Beam and then walk into the woods in the Brookshires in Western Massachusetts, like beautiful, like unbelievable, like forest and shit. And we'd walk into
Suck each other off.
Yeah, we just get there. We get the slurping. No, we go to the woods with an axe and we chop trees down, hammer drunk.
That's
dude.
way cooler.
Yeah, we almost burned the whole forest down.
Dude,
one
I
time.
love that shit, dude. That's the country shit I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you can be insane out there.
Yeah,
like
dude.
getting drunk just to chop trees down.
Yeah, like psychotic 18-year-old fucking weirdos.
I burned down an entire field beside my house.
Controlled burn?
It got So no, okay, this is what happened. My parents were away for like a week. I had a bunch of friends over. Basically, it was my house. There was a small subdivision in the town, but there was a big field between us.
Yeah.
And so my parents were away. I had these friends over. The first night we did a bunch of mushrooms. We went out to the field. We went way back in the field somewhere, past the one property line, and we just burned one hay bale, just one. High on mushrooms. We all watched it burn.
Hay bales are so big.
They're enormous.
They're like the size of a Toyota Camry.
Yeah, and there's plenty of them. So we took one. We enjoyed it. We watched it burn. We're like, that was great. Next night, we just get fucking loaded. We're like, you know what's cooler than one hay bale? Fucking like 90, right? So me and my buddy go out, and it was the most psychotic fucking thing ever now when I look at it. And one guy had a can of gas. One guy had matches, right? And we were just sprinkling these hay bales. Boom, boom. It's the field directly beside my home.
That's a Calgary potluck.
I should point out that too, that my father was a cop. And so all the cops knew
that's where you got the mustache from.
And it's like trauma. Yeah, it's a trauma stash. No, but so anyways, we lit up all these fucking hay bales. And then we got back to my place and we turned around. And I'm just watching this all happen. I'm like, oh boy, this is going to become a problem real fast, right? Like
that actually sounds awesome.
It was sick, but it was also immediately like, this is a problem. And then so anyways, this big fucking fire starts raging on. I get a call from somebody that I know that lives in the town. They're like, oh, the fire alarms are going off in town. We know you fucking did something. The wind was just taking the smoke through the town. So
this is Canada. This is what I imagine.
Yeah, and then so all of a sudden, so next thing you know, fucking fire department shows up, fucking cops show up, everything, right? I got like 8 or 9 buddies in my house. They're all high. There's the fire truck is in the field with the big spotlight going around. It's like going by my bedroom window. We're all ducking, right? Like looking out there. And then at some point, again, these cops, they knew who lived there, and they knew that my dad was away. They knew that I was there. And then I had run-ins from time to time.
All your faces are blackened with ash.
Exactly. No, dude, this is the best part. So we're waiting there. Cops come. I see the cop. I'm looking at my bedroom window. It's all dark in my room. I got like 5 friends hidden in the basement, 5 of us up in my room, whatever, 8, 9 people. And then I see them coming up the driveway. I'm like, fuck, here we go, dude. And then I see them start to walk around back. No, they're knocking on my door, right? And my buddy's like, dude, what are you going to do? And in my head, I'm fucking loaded and I'm an idiot and I'm fucking like 16. I'm like, bro, if I'm not awake, I can't get arrested. Like in my mind, I'm like, this is how this works.
No one does crimes and gets sleepy.
They can't. Then I see them going around back, and out back I had this table, and it was just filled with like fucking bongs and weed and like all this shit. And everything.
You're just watching True Crime now, just going, fall asleep, dude. Just go to sleep, dude.
Go to sleep. Dude, what are you doing? You're still up. You killed that person an hour ago. No, so anyway, so they're going around back. I'm like, fuck, I gotta get downstairs. So one cop is still knocking. So I take off all my clothes. So I'm just in boxers and I answer the door, right? I answer the door and just they're still knocking. I just answer the door in just my underwear. Like I just woke up. I'm fucking loaded, right? And when I open the door, there is just this end of the world fire behind these cars. Dude, like it's just like, and it is raging. And I open the door, I go, going on, boys? Like Campbell? I'm like, yeah. And then fuck yeah, they came in, they found out who was there, they took names down there. It was this whole fucking thing. And I ended up God, I hope the statute of limitations is passed on this thing. I used to work at a gas station at that time. And I knew some of the cops would come into that gas station because that's where they would get their gas. They like the chits to get it, whatever, right? So that's where all the cops would gas up. And then one day, guy comes in, he pulls up, and he's filling out his paper, and without looking up at me, he goes, I know you started that fire. and I'm like, just standing there, and he goes, but we can't find enough evidence and enough respect for your family. He's like, we're just going to leave this alone. And he tosses the chip book at me, dude. He does a burnout and shoots rocks at me and takes off. I'm like, that's not so bad. That's actually not so bad. Yeah. Dude, didn't look at me once and just peeled out of there, shot rocks at me. They fucking hated me.
Wait, so you never got in trouble for it?
I got in trouble kind of internally at home because They figured I just like, I never really copped to it, but everybody knew what was up. My dad wasn't an idiot. He knew what was up. The cops told him what was up. And so when he came back, like they fucking knew, but they could just never like pin it. And then
God, nothing scarier than when you do something wrong and your dad comes back and he's like, let's talk. You're like, this dude's about to beat the living shit out of me.
Fuck, dude, yeah. Well, especially though, because they like, they would like give him the heads up. So he already came in knowing what was up.
Yeah.
So that was anytime my parents left for a few days or something, it was always hell when they came back because I always did something, right? Like,
you have real house party at your parents' vibes.
Yeah, I never threw a rager at my place. I always had buddies over. We'd always do stupid shit, but I never threw a huge party because I always saw the shit that happened when people did. You know what I mean?
Have any of your friends ever had to wear an eye patch due to antics?
I did.
No shot.
Bro.
Sniped it.
I was walking around that moment. I'm like country. There was like nothing to do, right? So I was walking around my property one day. I looked over at the burr bush, right? I look over and there's a fucking stick attached to a piece of string. And I'm just like, damn, that's already ready for me. Like that looks fun. Right, so I went into this come out burrs in my hair. I got this stick on this fucking string. And I'm just walking around my house, just whipping it around. Zip cuts my cornea, dude. I remember I go inside. I'm sitting at the top of the stairs, and my parents are arguing about which one has to take me to the hospital because they're both like, "This is the dumbest shit fucking ever. Someone's got to go." Got eye patched. I think my mom let me stay home for one day, and then I had to go to school for like 2 or 3 days with an eye patch on.
Oh, brutal.
An eye patch. I want an eye patch so bad. That'd be sick.
No, you don't.
And like a neck tattoo?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I couldn't have that. I couldn't have them both at the same time.
Right. Yeah,
that's a hat on a hat.
No, the eye patch.
That is a hat on a hat.
The eye patch stinks because when the story stinks, it's like, I had to tell everybody what I'd done.
Right,
and what I'd done was quite primal and stupid.
Plus 3D movies just hit. No third dimension for you, bro.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I didn't understand the hype, dude.
Like Avatar sucks.
Yeah. This is pre-Avatar. Had my eye back for that one. Still didn't really get the hype.
I never saw it.
You never saw it?
No.
Really?
No.
That's weird.
I put it on. I don't like 3D. I think it's silly. But I put it on, and the second they were like, we need to find the most rare metal in existence, and they're like, what's it called? And they were like, unobtainium.
Yeah.
I was like, get fucked.
That's where I was like, I can follow this movie. This is good. This is good. That's the stuff that's hard to get.
They can't obtain it.
Never seen Avatar. That seems up there with. I got a good friend of mine who's never tried a Big Mac in his life, doesn't know what Big Mac sauce tastes like.
I mean, that's just crazy.
And he thinks that makes him interesting. Nah, dude, it's weird.
Nah, but quarter pounders for me, bud.
Oh, yeah, fuck. Those go down like... No, he doesn't... I don't think he fucks with McDonald's ever. But to be like, I don't know what a Big Mac tastes like, I think is it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's some real... I was going to say it's un-American shit, but Canadian, so fair enough.
No, we fuck with it there,
that's
though. Your guys,
worldwide.
I feel like... So I've had McDonald's once or twice since I came here to New York, and I do feel like your guys' fast food is a bit different. Hits a bit different. I think
We
you guys
got it
pump
figured
with-
out here,
You also pump it with even more salt.
Yeah,
and
we're
even
really
more
poisoning
Like,
people
I
out
felt
here.
sick after eating
Yeah,
McDonald's.
that's kind of what you want.
Delicious, though.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about fast food, specifically in New York City, is that it is not as good as other places because to
The
work...
volume just to...
Yeah, and to work there and then still live in the city, you have to just be on heroin, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how you
true,
do that.
There's also
right?
just like the taste of like stab wounds in the back.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? You can just,
Yeah,
it's a
there's-
different,
Hit of iron in there.
yeah, you can just kind of feel that the meat's a little different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite parts about going to Canada is that you guys have like whole chains that are just the catchphrases of American stuff.
Like what?
Pizza, pizza.
That place stinks.
Yeah, well, that's just the slogan for Little Caesars.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Dude, pizza is so fucking bad. There was one time in Toronto, there was a dude who blew his head off in a pizza bathroom. and dude, I used to do...
Absolutely.
I said your wallet.
I never did this on stage, but I've joked about it before with my buddy about where I'm like, I bet that guy wanted to kill himself. And then he was like, you know what? Fuck it. He's like, maybe life is worth living. And then he went in there I had one slice of pizza. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna blow my head off right here. Like, I can't even go home. And but the best part is, so the guy didn't he didn't close the pizza. He just closed the bathroom. I think eventually the cops they shut it all down. But this guy was like, "No, we gotta keep going. Gotta get these fucking pies out the door." Guy's fucking brain is fucking dressed the wall.
That is the place to do it. You know, go to the Papa John's. You know, you don't bother nobody.
Boom. So fucking dark, dude. Oh. It's like, yeah, it's so funny. Any fucking fast food chain with a bathroom code.
Yeah, you just
You're
get
in
in there, you fucking wipe the place down with your blood, and then people move on with their lives. It's a good way to do it.
That's it. But what else have you had there that you don't have here? Like pizza is top like shitty fucking pizza for us.
Oh, I'm trying to think. Everyone talks up Tim Hortons. It's just Dunkin'.
Well, Tim Hortons is Dunkin'. Tim Hortons sucks. It's just
good.
like it's just classic for us. It sucks. I liked it fucking 20 years ago where they had like little glass rooms in there where there's just guys smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
You guys have that at Dunkin'?
No.
You ever had the smoking section?
At a Dunkin'? No.
You never had a glass box? It's like a fucking airport in Brazil, dude. These guys, you just smoke cigarettes. And you remember back when they're like smoking or non-smoking, but then there's no division in the fucking rooms. It's just like you're on this side. It smells like shit, but you're not going to directly be inhaling smoke. Yeah, when you could smoke Tim Hortons, that was pretty cool.
Dude, the smoking section, when that was the thing, that was a real battle when we would go to dinners with my grandmother. And
she wanted to sit in the dark.
In Maiden, North Carolina. We'd walk in and they go smoking or non-smoking, and she goes smoking, and my mom would go non-smoking. We have children. Like, no, 45 minutes without a hoon, dude. Like, chill.
That's awesome though. That's like, my grandparents would have been smoking section people. What I hate, even when I smoked, I hated smoking hotel rooms. They're so fucking gross. They smell so fucking gnarly.
I've never been to one of those.
You've never been in a smoking hotel? You guys have them here in the States.
They have these?
Oh,
Not anymore.
Yeah, you do.
In Vegas, maybe.
Nah, I was in one on my way to Vegas in Arizona, though.
Oh,
just last year.
Career's going well, huh?
Just last year, buddy. I was on vacation.
Wait, you're allowed to smoke in there? It's just a hotel.
It's a smoking room. You would get the smoking room in Vegas. 100%, you can get smoking rooms, and then in these, these shitty motels and stuff. Yeah, they still have them.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
They still have them. Sorry, your fucking boarding school didn't lead you to a smoking room at a fucking motel. But.
No, where it led us is smoking cigs in a forest. Almost burned one down.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that'll get your juices flowing. Yeah, me and my buddy Reed, we're all tuned up on Jim Beam in the woods.
Yeah.
We had cut down. I thought you were about to bottle flip that onto the thing. I was like, dude, let's go.
Let's go. Dude, I should try.
We're up in the woods. Mm-hmm. We had cut down this little tree, and it had fallen and was kind of propped up on itself, like on an angle, you know.
Yeah.
And then next to it was a birch tree, and birch
that shit goes up.
Birch bark's the greatest for starting fires.
Dude,
the ASMR that goes with burning birch.
Dude, I love burning birch. It's the greatest tinder known to man.
It is the greatest tinder known to man, next to a human body.
so
birch is simply an accelerant.
So we're next to this birch tree, and it's like summertime basically. So it's all dry as fuck and peeling off the tree. And I lit or Reed lit, one of us. Who cares who started the fire?
At this point, just one of you fucking take it.
Reed did it.
Yeah.
So, lights a little piece of the birch, and then we light cigs off it.
Sick.
And then put it out, and then we're sitting there talking, shooting the shit. We turn around, and half of the tree is just engulfed in flames.
Happens fast.
It happens so fast, dude.
Fast. Spoken like a man who's burned down.
These things will get away from you, dog.
So we rip our shirts off and are like using our shirts to pat the tree down. I jumped
You're
on
stoking the flames at this point.
Yeah, I jumped on this I jumped on the tree we had already cut that was like propped up and was like bouncing on that to like reach the top. Luckily we get it all out, whatever, and I was like, whew, that was a close one. And he goes, yeah. That would have been felony, that would have been life in prison. I was like, well, how do you know? I was like, how do you know this stuff? He's like, I started a lot of fires.
You get life for that? For what? For what? If you like burned the forest down?
I think he was hyperbolic. I don't think we got life. But
you definitely do a little time. Arson is they don't fuck with arson.
They sure don't.
Yeah, not that I would know, but
You never burned any?
Never. I'm not a big fire guy.
What do you like?
I'm like
You're being weird, man. What are you into? You don't watch true crime. You don't start fires.
I just have like a drinking and drug and pussy problem.
Let's talk about it.
It's like, I have my very specific issues. Yeah. I don't know. It's I've never really had access to a field. I guess I'm white trash. You know.
What kind of drugs have you been into in your life?
The whole nine. Acid, shroom. I had like a real acid problem for a long time. The shrooms was a huge problem. The
like
pot.
psychedelics. What about like cocaine?
Never been a cokehead before.
Really?
Everything about me is guy who does blow. I've only done blow twice in my life, and I stopped because the second time I tried to do it, I walked in on my buddy kissing my sister, and I pulled out a kitchen knife and tried to kill him.
What the fuck?
Willie Griswold.
Okay.
Shout out to Willie Griswold.
Put it in reverse.
Put it in reverse. Yeah, then I was like, I should never do blow again. Almost stabbed a man. Could have been different. Life could have been.
Willie Griswold is such a crazy person.
If you know him, big fat idiot.
Sorry, what was his name?
This guy Willie Griswold, comedian in Chicago. I did a line
There's
of blow.
actually Griswolds from Chicago?
Yeah.
And all of it, and he had a bunch of jokes about board games. Real sweetheart.
Did a line of blow.
That's some Christmas
kissing
vacation
my
joke.
sister, walked in with a knife. Two dudes had to hold me back. I said, I'm going to slit his throat.
What?
That was a wild come down. You know, then I came back to, I was like, damn, I think I was a little out of my gourd there.
That's a sobering next day.
Yeah, no, sobering 15 minutes, really.
You gotta take some mushrooms, walk into the woods, find yourself all over again.
You know,
I'm not who I thought I was.
All the meditation you do now makes a lot.
I'm saying, bro,
more
I'm
sense.
trying to be a better man. I'm trying to get it together. You know?
Oh, you meditate?
Meditate twice a day, every day.
How long?
20 minutes each time.
You got 40 minutes a day.
40 minutes a day, yeah. I'll do one when I leave here on the train.
How to stay a broke loser, huh?
It's not working. It is simply not. Been doing it for 7 years.
Just carve out 40 minutes a day to fucking sit in silence. Good for you, dude.
Yeah, we need a grind set. No grinding over here. Yeah, you'd think it would help more. It hasn't really done much for old Tucky, but whatever.
That's good for you, man. I don't know if I could achieve. I went through a time where I was trying to meditate every morning, but I was doing like guided for like maybe 10 minutes. Couldn't get there.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it.
Well, I took like a class with like a fucking guru, and he made me bring him like fruit and flowers and shit. It was bizarre. And
What else did he make you do?
Precisely. I was like, can we get to me sucking you off already?
Yeah, Jesus. You line his foreskin with grapes?
Yeah, pretty much. He literally made me show up to his office with like an apple, a bouquet of flowers, and a handkerchief. And then we did it was like this bald white guy, and then he did some ceremony where he like talked in Sanskrit. I was like, this is retarded.
Did it take for you talking out loud about that to understand how not normal what you just said is?
Well, the reason I started doing it is because, like, well, if I'm going to go through with this, I might as well really try it. You know, sometimes you got to come outside of yourself. You know?
Sometimes you have to come on to another guy.
Yeah, you got to get fucked by an old man in the middle of downtown Chicago.
If you haven't been split like a piece of firewood by an old bald guy,
that's when you start going, maybe I'll take a little time to be quiet
What
during
was
the
his
day.
qualifications, by the way?
You didn't go to therapy. You just hung out with Rick Rubin.
Yeah. What was your guru's name? Greg?
No, then what's so funny, we did this crazy ceremony, then afterwards we watched the Penn State game for like 45 minutes.
Because he's a big Sandusky guy.
You know he was just sending signals the whole time. Yeah, I could have sworn. I don't know. Yeah, I've been quiet ever since.
That's sick, dude.
Just trying, just looking at my life like, can we do something to fix it?
You're just fucking reaching for straws at that point. I get it, dude. I've done a lot. I read like a bunch of self-help books. I've tried to I've done therapy before. Now the gym, like I was telling you, has become such a therapeutic thing for me. Like I've tried to figure out what's up.
I did the Tony Robbins. I've read every fucking Tony Robbins. I got down in that rabbit hole for a while, trying to be like, maybe this is the trick. They're all liars.
Well, they're all selling you something.
Yeah.
But I honestly think, because I like to read a lot, and I do every like few months or so, man, I throw in a book that's somewhat telling me to like dust myself off and get at it. You know what I mean? Like I think it reminds me, and it does help me. I kind of see right through it. I know what it is. First of all, any self-help book, and they're not all like self-help by definition necessarily, but any book that's supposed to motivate you and show you what up, like if they weren't just repeating the same information 19 times, the book would only be the third the size that it is. Like there's only that much information in a book that's 200 pages, you know?
Right.
So, and I get it. I see what they're doing, but sometimes it still reminds me, and it gives me, a good 2.5 weeks
Yeah, to just straighten up.
And then I go right back.
But also a guy like Tony Robbins, like you finish the book, then you realize he's like 6'7", 245. And it's like, well, yeah, you of course your life went well. You're a fucking middle linebacker.
But he's got an awful head.
Yeah, he does have a...
Guy looks like hell.
But anyone's 6'7", it's like you don't get to give advice. They handed it to you. You
True.
know? Your life has been easy ever since you had a growth stunt.
Just you white-knuckling some self-help book going, I gotta fix myself.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, no kidding.
That's exactly what
I've done it. And because I read... it's funny because I read in the morning. I wake up, I have coffee and I read. That's how I start my day. That's my peace in the morning. That's like it's not meditation, but it's my quiet, not talking to people.
You were molested by a barista.
He never did tell me what he did. So I do that, but that's funny now to think about because I go to sleep every night watching murder, and then I wake up like that's just in my mind when I wake up, and then I reset with a nice book, and then I might be trapped in a vicious cycle here. I think
we all are.
I don't know how to teach their own.
In my head, it's a nice cappuccino and Harry Potter that you're reading.
It is, yeah. Oh no, never read the Potters. Never read I do switch it up every now and then. I'll do a fiction. Book. I like nonfiction mostly, but I'll do it. Like, what is this? Manufacturing Consent? Is that part of your fucking incel podcast you're doing?
That's a book by Noam Chomsky about.
That is Chomsky
about the government. But don't get me started.
No,
about brainwashing and how the government works. But that's for another episode.
Sounds like you're already going. Let's do
I'm
it.
a fucking psychopath.
That's okay.
I'm gonna gun down a CEO in the street any day now.
This show ends when I find your manuscript.
Yeah,
or
when I go to prison.
His memoir will be very good. Very, very good.
I'm ready, fellas. I'm fucking ready. I am like the leader of the incels. I got a little army brewing.
Do you?
Yeah.
You got a little following?
I got a little.
Dude,
riders.
those people will die.
I got the Riders of Rohan. You know, we're gonna do something crazy to this country pretty soon.
I think something just is gonna happen, and you're just gonna be somehow implicated just by these Easter eggs you're dropping right now.
I'm certainly on a list somewhere. The FBI's gone, well, he's definitely gonna do something. We'll see.
Just some guys in suits stuffing in the back of a black SUV, and you're going, I was goofing.
I'm a comedian. Look at my IG reels. Check my IG.
It was a bit.
Oh, we did.
Your Honor, I've gone viral.
Don't do this to me now. Not now. It's a good week.
That's right. I'll find a guy in prison. He'll teach me how to meditate if you catch my drift.
You might find your old guru in prison.
Yeah, we'll get a little reunion going.
Greg? What are you in for? You know what the fuck I'm in for.
He's like, I heard Dynamite Rocketship. You belong here. Whatever.
I don't know, man. I think we're all fucking keeping it together with gum here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
everybody's
one
doing
day
all
at a
right.
time.
Everybody's doing all right. What? So growing up in Canada, what was your perception of America? And then did that change at all moving here? Or coming here? I assume you visited before. And
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I visited the States many times. So my perception growing up, I think America was always cool to us because, like, again, we're super Americanized there, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's basically
all
the
of
same
our
thing.
TV is American. Like all of our celebrities, basically. I mean, we've given you some great fucking celebrities, but
Oh yeah, we've stolen your grades.
we got some real good ones. But no, we really I think America was always very intriguing because it was like, it felt like it was so far away, but it wasn't. It was right there, but it was a different world. You know what I mean? Because that was, again, our perception was all shaped through movies and fucking television and music and everything like that. But I grew up in a house where, like, my father doesn't like America. Right?
Canadian cop.
Soldier first, and he used to train with Americans and everything. I was born in Germany. Okay, so I was born. Whole nother layer here, boys.
Yeah, interesting.
I was born in Germany. My dad was in the military. He was in Germany for the end of nearing the end of the Cold War, right? He was there. Russia was they were going to try to make a big push through Europe at that time.
He's over there going, not really that cold, honestly. I mean, it's way colder up where I'm from.
Oh fuck, let's go. We're gonna shit or get off the pot here, boys. Never really happened, but he was out there. He was trained with Americans, trained with British soldiers. He was like a special forces ish guy there. So he was posted there. That's where my brother and I were both born there. So I have way more family in Germany than I have here. My mother only speaks German to me.
Are you dual citizenship?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. I don't know if I still have it, but I know I can just get it again in a moment. I think you might lose it when you live not there for a long time. I don't know.
I don't
I
know
recently
that
told someone I don't think I have it anymore. They're like, that's ridiculous. You absolutely do.
Yeah, I think you just gotta. I think you.
I might have to fill out a piece of paper. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, dual citizen. I used to go back there all the time during my summers and everything growing up. So yeah, so my dad, Ford, he's always been like he's always been like anti-America. So I grew up in a house, but I was like all pro. I grew up like a huge I liked all the music from here. I was a big wrestling fan. You know what I mean? Like, so I always saw fucking all this American fucking shit shoved down my throat. But I was always all about it. But I grew up in a house that was kind of hostile towards it.
Which probably fueled your. I mean, like, you got a little rebellious streak.
I'm going
in
to
you.
America, Dad.
Yeah,
yeah, and which is no, I don't even know. Maybe maybe a little bit, but like I was always down and intrigued.
It's something so cute about Canadians hating America. To be like, oh, a bunch of goofballs down there.
It's true, but here's the thing, though. There are things about being Canadian, and there are things in Canada that a lot of people they want to kind of keep it that way because there are some things that you guys do down here that we're good with not doing.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Politically and everything. And there's just some shit that happens down here where Canada, we are still this little sort of, it's changed a lot, but it is a kind of like how you guys call it, it's like your little fucking hat. It is kind of cute up there, right? But at the same rate, again, we ingest everything. We're so heavily influenced by you guys that a lot of people outside of like the accent, right? You wouldn't really know the difference between a Canadian and an American. You've met a lot of my Canadian friends here that are comedians, right?
Oh, yeah,
We're all very similar.
Oh, yeah.
And because we all still grew up on the same stuff, more or less. But I used to come here. I've been visiting the States, since I was like in my early 20s, and I had friends in LA. I had friends in New York. I always knew I wanted to live in New York. I always wanted to come here. And then the reality of doing comedy in Canada was that you got to pick one. You got to go to LA. You got to go to New York if you want to take that next step. For me, it was always New York. I loved the pace and I loved that. And now being here, like, dude, I fucking love it here. And I have the kind of the benefit of already having friends here, both Americans and Canadians.
Oh, yeah.
So I came here already knowing people.
You slid right in.
Slid right in, dude. Like Greg. And so no, I've had it kind of an easy transition. I think it's going well so far. So like I'm enjoying it here. I knew I had to come down here to kind of take that next step. I have no intention of like not being here now. And I want to like make the run here, and I want to I want to make the most of it, but also like I'm trying to do shit. One of my buddies told me when I was moving here, he was like, don't make the mistake of only doing fucking comedy 100% of the time. Like, make sure you do some New York shit. Like, do stuff here that you can't do anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and then just shit like going to Central Park, going to the Met, which I like, things like that, and trying to like, there's obviously so much culture and everything here. So I'm trying to enjoy this place beyond just comedy. You know what I mean? And like take it in for what it is as much as you can as a broke fucking comedian in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I love it. And again, dude, I lived in Toronto for 15 years. Toronto and Chicago are always trading as being the third biggest city in North America. We're right there. We're the same size. So it's like, it's a major, I came from a big fucking city. It's only the size of one borough here, but I wouldn't say it was like culture shock coming to New York.
Yeah, my favorite quote I've heard about Toronto was someone goes, "You can't make it in Toronto because you still live in Toronto."
Yeah.
It's like, that's
Body of the
fire.
six. Uh-huh.
And it's very similar to Chicago in that way.
Well, so that's something that kind of I learned when I got here is I thought, okay, we got to get out of Canada to make it here. But then when I'm in New York, it's like everybody from fucking like Phoenix, Atlanta, like all those places are like, they also had to leave to make it. Like every scene is the same. Toronto's just another one of your other cities that isn't New York.
Yep.
Right? And I mean, like the comedians are good that come out of there, the good ones. But, you look at some of the guys that stay and you're like, this can't be it.
Oh, yep.
This can't be it.
Same as Chicago.
We all got them.
What have you seen? What have been your favorite things you've done in New York? Like, the Met is obviously sick.
The Met was really cool.
It's shockingly good. I'm not a museum guy, but that shit is tight.
I'm not a museum guy either, but it was, I think the Met was awesome just because the building itself is so fucking cool.
Yeah,
right?
it's like massive. It's big. They have the Washington crossing the Delaware is like the most incredible. Yeah. Like, it affected me in a way that I had no idea I had in me. I was like, oh yeah.
See, but you are a museum guy. You brought something out in you. I like that. I really like Central Park a lot. I do enjoy that. I enjoy fucking walking out there. I like when I get into a little patch of like, almost feels like I'm not in a city for a moment, which is great. I actually visited a true crime murder site when I went there.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
You did a little true crime tourism.
I did. Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I took the old lady over to see where the baby-faced butcher had done her work. I'm like, this is where the guy was. This is where his fucking intestines were in the water. They cut his belly before they put him in. You know that? Look at me. Look at me. Listen. Are you listening? Look at this is where she cut him. Only 15 years old. It's crazy.
What a date.
Yeah, these kids on rollerblades. And yeah, dude, I actually did. I don't know why I found it so fascinating. And then I told somebody else about that. They're like, that's fucking creepy, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's not.
I stood there. I got down on one knee. I rubbed my fingers through the dirt. Smelled it. Oh yeah. Yep, this is where it happened. No, but I don't know. I like that. What else have I done? Oh, you know what I did fucking last month? Me and a couple comedians. We got on a train and we went to like Beacon, New York, like an hour and a half from here. And like hiked up a mountain.
Beacon's beautiful.
Dude,
Love
it was so
out
sick.
there, yeah.
And that was cool. It was cool to be at like Grand Central in downtown New York and then in the same day be on a mountain in the middle of fucking nature and then that night be back in downtown New York. So I want to do more of that. I want to get the fuck out of the city. And because upstate New York is the exact same landscape as Ontario where I grew up, right? It's the same forest, same fucking everything. So
Totally.
that felt like I was home again. But it's so beautiful out there.
It is,
I
yeah.
want to do more shit. I love getting out of the city sometimes. You need it. You need that fucking reset sometimes.
I haven't left in a little bit. I'm about to go to Mexico.
And you're starting to crack.
Oh, a little bit. Your cracks are showing.
Mexico will be cool.
I think it'll be fun. Great food, good vibes.
Sure.
Should be chill. No weed though. That'll be tough.
Can't smoke weed there at all?
Well,
Can't get your hands on any?
It's a whole thing. It's a hassle, and I mean, when's the last time you like had to be like, hey man, where I can score? Like I'm past all that. You buy weed from a store or whatever.
Yeah. No, I get that. You'll have a good time. Maybe you'll come back better for it. For not smoking for a fucking week.
All my friends are hoping that I get fixed.
This could be it.
Like put your toes in the sand already.
I told you, there's going to be a guy with a monkey on his shoulder robbing you on a fucking moped. You're going to come back something. Probably just down a few $100. That'll be good, man. That'll be nice. But I don't know, man. Overall, my experience here so far, positive. I've gotten to do some road shit too, which has been great. There's so much of this country that I want to be able to go see. So much of it is so fucking weird out here too.
Oh,
like you guys, like we kind of have the same thing where as soon as you get out of the big cities, it gets very conservative, but it's different kind of conservative here, man.
Oh yeah.
It gets real fucking was it red or blue? What do you guys?
Red.
Red, white, and blue, baby. But yeah, it's interesting seeing the small towns that make up the fabric of America.
They're all the same.
They are.
They all look identical. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like the topography and the geography changes. It's like, but it's the same strip malls. It's the same. It's the highways look the same. It's
right.
It's a little like disconcerting. Like if you're traveling through Tennessee, you're like, am I in Oklahoma? Like it's so similar.
Mm-hmm.
And
but I'll say this: what you guys have here that we do not have in Canada is, and we have some obviously very, very beautiful places out there, but you guys have where you can go. Like when I was in the middle of the desert in Arizona, I'm like, this is an entirely different fucking world than being in fucking New York. Like you guys have different climates here, and you have completely different terrains and everything. We don't really have that. We kind of have one sort of similar thing up there, whereas like, yeah, dude, being in the desert down here is one of the coolest places I've ever fucking been. It's a different world.
The desert is sick.
So cool.
One of my favorite genres of online video is British people who've moved to America and then are trying to explain to other British people how wrong they are. Right. And then like it's literally a guy being like, no, you don't understand. They don't need to go to other countries because the country is like 9 countries. You can you can go to the desert, you can go to the mountains. It's great.
I don't know. Yeah, they need to go to other countries though. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do England.
Never been.
I couldn't do the overcast. Like I need.
But it's so overcast in Toronto, though. I feel like
it's no different than here.
I guess true. Yeah.
No, it's no different than here. Vancouver is overcast. BC.
Vancouver's sick.
It is, but that weather stinks a lot of the time. I don't even like Vancouver as a city. I like when you get outside of Vancouver.
I haven't been outside. I've been to Vancouver. I haven't been outside.
You do that drive from Vancouver to Whistler. That's one of the most beautiful parts of North America.
The Vancouver's sick because it looks like a city of the future. It's like
goes to sleep at 11. I probably like it more now. When I was there as a raging drunk in my 20s, I was like, hey, wake up, you fucking pussies. But then I did that drive. To Whistler. And at one point, I got out of the car by this lake, this like fucking perfect blue lake with the mountains in the background. like one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen. I found these 2 nice rocks, and I sat down and I took a shit, and I've never had a more beautiful shit in my life. It'll never get even close to that. Just looking out at the most, I was one with it.
Amen.
There was no I, only is.
Solid squirting.
That was a big problem. All the dreams were thrown out the window as soon as I was done. I was like, all right, didn't think this far up.
You guys have more fun names for stuff. I'll say that.
Like what?
Like
Pizza.
My favorite thing, because I thought it was a fake thing. I heard a comedian say it in a joke, and I was like, oh, that's such a hilarious fake name for a place. Totally real. Thunder Bay.
Fuck yeah.
Thunder Bay is so good, dude.
Highest murder rate in all of Canada. Let's go.
In Thunder Bay?
Yeah, it's got a large indigenous population. We still have a lot of problems out there. Thunder Bay is a gnarly place.
It sounds so adorable. It sounds like where the Goonies would go.
Go play pool at 3 a.m. in Thunder Bay. Adorable it is, dude. Oh man, no, dude, the Thunder Bay is bad. We got a lot of shitty, bad fucking towns is the thing too. Like we got the nice places, like your main spots, like like Montreal, Vancouver, Toronto. And then some of like maybe the very rural places in between, but all the other cities, it's like here. Like we have just some shit fucking towns.
Oh yeah, we got Floater, Kentucky or whatever.
Yeah. Gary, Indiana.
Oh, that place is no good.
Gary, good Lord, God bless.
That's a place where you wish you had more windows to roll up in your car.
I knew a guy that went down there one time because that's where the Jacksons were from, right?
Yeah, Michael.
And they
just in case, let's be clear, not Lamar.
Yeah. And he went to see the house and he grew up and it was like all fucking like boarded up and shit, right? It's been like abandoned. And then as he was looking, I just saw some eyes from behind the boards peeking. He's like, dude, there are squatters in Michael Jackson's fucking residence.
They probably don't even know.
Awesome. They have no
They're
fucking
just
clue.
laced out on fentanyl going, the roof is
He
nice.
has no idea the history here.
This is where the moonwalkers invented.
A monster was built in this home.
Dude, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, dude.
I had an absolute blast and a half, man.
Dude.
Certainly. Thank you for coming on, bro. That was so fun.
If you're out there, please check out the Dude Buddy podcast. It's great. It's with another great guy, Danny Martinello.
Yes, sir.
Real good vibes over there. You're killing it out here. We're so psyched you're here, man.
Thank you, brother. And thank you guys.
An all-time dude, man. You rule.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys are both fucking awesome. I love what you're doing here. Yeah, man. You keep killing it. I'll keep seeing you boys around.
Oh, definitely.
going anywhere.
Where can people find you on the interweb?
You can just follow me at Jarrett Campbell on Instagram, also on TikTok, Jarrett P. Campbell. And then you can go to check us out on YouTube, the Dude Buddy Podcast.
Absolutely. Check it out, gang. Tucker, what you got for him?
Y'all know the motherfucking drill, folks. Patreon.com/Dynamite Rocketship. Another absolute heater of an episode. Having a wonderful time despite all the odds stacked against us. Toby, send them home.
Thanks so much for checking us out. Please, again, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Subscribe on all the audio platforms. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Blast off!